Good day, my name is Ji Kelsing, and I would like to present the basic elements of organizing and the applications of real-time operating system traffic light. There are six basic elements in organizing, which are designing jobs, grouping jobs, establishing reporting relationships between jobs, distributing authority among jobs, coordinating activities among jobs, and differentiating among positions. The first element is designing jobs. The purpose of job design is to determine an individual's work-related responsibilities through job specialization. The overall task is divided into smaller parts to increase the worker's proficiency and effectiveness. The other approaches to do job design are job rotation by systematically moving employees from one job to another, job enlargement by giving a variety of tasks for the worker to perform, job enrichment by increasing both the number of tasks and the control the worker has over the job characteristic approach through diagnose the jobs along five core dimensions, which are skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and job feedback and employee preferences. Work teams by allowing an entire group to design the work system it will use to perform an interrelated set of tasks. The second elements are grouping job, which is also known as departmentalization. Departmentalization is the process of grouping jobs according to some logical arrangements. There are several types of departmentalization. Firstly, functional departmentalization is for grouping jobs involving the same or similar activities. Second, customer departmentalization occurs when the organization structures its activities to respond to and interact with specific customers. Third, product departmentalization for grouping activities around products or product groups. Lastly, location departmentalization for grouping jobs based on defined geographic areas. The third element is establishing reporting relationships between jobs. In a company, two things need to be clarified. First is the chain of command by having clear and distinct lines of authority among all positions in an organization. Second is the span of management, which means the number of people who report to a particular manager. There are two types of organizations, which are tall and flat. A tall structure has a larger number of managers, leads to an increase in the number of people whom information must pass. A flat structure leads to higher levels of employee morale and productivity, which means the manager has more administrative and supervisory responsibilities. The fourth element is distributing authority amongst jobs. Authority is the power that has been legitimized by the organizations. Delegation is the process by which managers assign a portion of their total workload to others. Decentralization is the process of systematically delegating power and authority throughout the organizations to middle and lower level managers. Centralization is the process of systematically retaining power and authority in the hands of higher level managers. The fifth element is coordinating activities among jobs. Coordination is the process of linking the activities of various departments of the organizations due to work groups are interdependent. There are several forms of interdependence. Firstly, full interdependence exists when units operate with little interaction. Second, sequential interdependence occurs when the output of a unit becomes the input for another in a sequential fashion. Third, reciprocal interdependence occurs when activities flow both ways between units. The structural coordination techniques are designed to achieve and maintain coordination among interdependent units through managerial hierarchies, rules and procedure, liaison roles, task forces, and integrating departments. The sixth element is differentiating among positions. A line position is a position in the direct chain of command that is responsible for achieving an organization's goals. Line managers have formal and legitimate authority. A staff position is a position that intends to provide expertise, advice, and support for line positions. The authority of staff position is less concrete. Firstly, what is real-time? Real-time is defined as a feature of timely responses to sporadic external events. FreeRTOS is known as a real-time operating system kernel for microcontrollers. It is a class that is developed to be run on a microcontroller, where resources are limited. It can provide the options to do multiple tasks and so on at the same time. In a developed city, heavy traffic situations are often encountered by road users almost every day. The traffic is continuously packed with vehicles and thus it is dangerous for pedestrians to cross the road. Therefore, real-time operating system traffic light is introduced to address these issues. There are three objectives developed in this project. Firstly, to implement a traffic light system that can react to sporadic events according to the density of the vehicles at the road junctions and the availability of pedestrians. Next, to address heavy traffic situation at road junctions by reducing the unnecessary time delay for waiting at traffic lights. Lastly, to ensure the safety of pedestrians by making pedestrians crossing the highest priority among all the tasks. This shows the schematic diagram of the FreeRTOS traffic light system. This project has three inputs, which are the pedestrian button and two heavy traffic buttons for the two junctions. The output will be the LEDs that represent the traffic lights. The left-hand side of the breadboard indicates the traffic light system at junction 1. The middle is for pedestrians crossing and the right-hand side of the breadboard indicates the traffic light system at junction 2. In this FreeRTOS traffic light system, there are four main tasks that are created, which are the ideal task, pedestrian task, and two heavy traffic tasks. The highest priority in this system is given to the pedestrian task, followed by the heavy traffic tasks, and lastly, the lowest priority task is the ideal task. This is because the safety of pedestrians is the most important when compared with the heavy traffic on the road. Thus, the pedestrian task will be able to preempt all other tasks if it is initiated by a user. For a heavy traffic task, as there are two tasks with the same priority at junction 1 and junction 2 respectively, they will be executed in round-robin fashion. On the other hand, the ideal task represents the normal traffic condition on the road in which it will be executed when there are no other higher priority tasks that are available for the scheduler. As shown in the flowchart, the ideal task will be executed and then the system will check the status of the pedestrian task. If the pedestrian button is pressed, then this task will be executed by preempting the ideal task. If the button is not pressed, the system will continue to check the status of the heavy traffic button. The heavy traffic task will preempt the ideal task if the button is pressed and vice versa. After completing the task, the system goes back to ideal task and this process loops infinitely. Let us watch the demonstrate the result of the traffic light system. Firstly, this shows the normal traffic condition where the traffic lights operate with normal timings during the ideal task. This situation demonstrates that there is heavy traffic happening at both junctions. After the button is pressed, junction 1 is currently allowing the heavy traffic to pass. Then when the button at junction 2 is pressed, it can be seen that the heavy traffic task at this junction is also executed. This is because, due to their same priority, the two heavy traffic tasks are executed in round-robin fashion when heavy traffic situations occur at both junctions. Lastly, let us observe what happens when the pedestrian button is pressed during this heavy traffic condition. As shown, the system reacts sporadically to the pedestrian button, and the pedestrian task is executed by preempting the heavy traffic task due to its higher priority. Thus, all the traffic will be restricted for 10 seconds to allow the pedestrian to cross the road. In conclusion, it can be seen that the traffic light system is capable of reacting to sporadic events happening at junctions, heavy traffic issues can be reduced, and safety of pedestrians are ensured through this project as well. That's all for me. Thank you.